Hey everyone, I just wanted to kind of come on here and do a little bit of chatting while I work on some crochet. I'm currently frogging what is supposed to be a lemon coaster for a friend of mine. She sent me an image of a picture on Etsy of this lemon coaster, and it looked kind of big from the photo. I couldn't find the pattern for the exact image that she sent me, and the pattern the image looks amazing. Like, it looks really good. Like I said, I couldn't find the pattern for it, so I tried to recreate it from just the image. Like, I zoomed in really far to try and count the stitches and stuff like that, but what I was finding is that this was starting to be all floppy and wobbly, so I think I'm gonna modify it a little bit. So we're just gonna front this all out. So I've got the basic construction looks fairly simple, just a whole bunch of rounds of increases, and then add a little butt at the bottom of it to give it that kind of like iconic lemon shape. And then I've got some yarn. I don't have it with me right now, but I don't know if I'll get to that at this point. To add a little leaf and a flower, and it actually had some beading on it, so I went out and bought some beads. Never have too many beads. We have a craft hoarding problem. What was I saying? Oh, brain fart. Sorry, this has been happening all week. But yeah, so I'm gonna try and recreate what I saw in the photo. So I'm gonna just make a flat circle with some basic increases. We're just gonna run with that, and then do the edging around the border. So yeah, that's kind of what we're working on right now, is just this lemon coaster. See how it works up. If it looks good, if she likes it, then I'll probably end up making her more. She's got a lemon themed kitchen and it's super cute, so this would match perfectly with what she's got going on for her decor. So but really what I wanted to talk about was some of the upcoming plans that I have for the channel. So as of right now, I have plans for uploading every other Friday. That seems to work out pretty well for me so far. Just because, I am working a full-time job, I've got a relationship, I've got a household to keep up with. So as of right now, I think every other week is still a good idea. But I've got, by the time that this video goes up, my plan is to have already started working on a 12 days of Yule crochet series. So I don't think I've explicitly said it here, but I am a Wiccan, and I kind of want to focus a little more crochet aspect into that. I know that might not be everybody's thing, but that's my thing, and I'm just here to, share what makes me happy, and, share what I like to do. And for me, that's crocheting and my belief system, and I like putting those two together, like merging all the things. I mean, that's what I'm doing with our wedding favors, merging crochet and Magic the Gathering. So I just like bringing things together. But what I planned was I was going to have, starting on the 21st of December, I will release a new video every day up until the first of the year, where I have some patterns that I found. Some of them I'm going to freehand, but just kind of share some information while you watch me crochet along with me, if you will. But I like having information. I like doing research. I like being able to share the information that I have. So that's kind of like the goal, is, not only educating myself more on like a historical side of things, but being able to share that information with all of you who are watching or who will watch. But I think it'll be really interesting to see how that all comes together. Like I said, I think that'll be December 21st Yeah, checking my notes. That'll be the day the first video goes up. Because I've got a notebook here where I've got a whole bunch of stuff written out and planned and what I want to do. But then after that series is finished, I have a series that I want to start where it's kind of like the crochet basics, if you will. Let me count this real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. With the crochet basics, it's less about like actually how to do things and kind of more of like a history and what is. The first video that I plan on having going up for January 5th, which will be the technically the second video of the year, but it'll be the first one back on the normal every other week schedule, is going to be a what is crocheting. For most people who are in this community, they know what it is, but I've been doing a lot of research on the different types of crochet and the different techniques and stuff like that, and I think it'd be really cool. I learned a lot of things, even found out about a couple of new types of crochet that I had never heard of before, and I thought that was super interesting. So I wanted to share that information, that knowledge with you in case you might, come across something that you'd never heard of before. Then it's just kind of like informational kind of things. Like I said, I like that kind of stuff, so that's kind of what we're doing here. I've got some other more informational kind of videos, kind of like what I did with the first couple of videos that I posted. Like how to figure out your stitch and row count, how to figure out how much yarn you need for your project, kind of stuff along those lines. I also plan on doing more crochet videos that align with like the Sabbats and stuff. So kind of just, merging two things that are important to me in my life. So I think that would be a lot of fun to do. And then let's see, what else do I have planned? Going back to my notes. I've made a lot of notes. I've been doing a lot of research. I've got some crochet pattern, graph patterns that I've been working on. I haven't released anything yet. I kind of haven't actually been working on them, to be completely honest, but we've made some progress. I think I've mentioned it before, but I've got some graph patterns that I'm basing off of the Rider-Waite tarot deck set. I figured that would be a good one to start with. At least, as far as tarot decks go, because I think that those are pretty iconic images. A lot of people in and, or not in the community are aware of what it is. So, or at least recognize the imagery. So what I wanted to do was create these patterns for wall hangings of all of the cards, because somebody, you could have a specific card that talks to you or speaks to you, that you connect with, that maybe you want to have a wall hanging of the Ace of Wands or the Three of Cups, something like that. But I wanted to be able to do the whole set. And I've been giving a lot of thought into how to make these patterns accessible. And I think what I want to do is not only do YouTube videos, just a very basic, so that way you can have like a free access to the pattern. I'll post it up on my website as well, but then I'm probably going to do like a written PDF file with photos and more detail and stuff like that people can purchase if they want to. Excuse me. Yeah, so I do like a PDF file that I upload and I can sell. So that way if people want it, they can have access to the printed version, but then there's also going to be free versions as well. And one of the big things that is important to me is having accessibility for everyone, because not everybody has the ability to pay for a written pattern. I know when I was first starting to crochet, all I ever did was watching YouTube videos. That's how I kind of re-taught myself how to crochet. So what I want to do is make them accessible. And another big thing that I have is that I also want to make my patterns accessible for left-handed crocheters. I know the video is mirrored, so it looks like I'm crocheting left-handed, but I am a right-handed crocheter. But I want to make those patterns accessible for left-handed as well, and take the work out of having to like flip or translate or, you know, correct the pattern, if you will, for somebody who crochets with their left hand versus their right hand. So that's something that I'm going to work towards trying to do. Like I said, because accessibility is something that's important to me. So I just want to make sure that that's available. I know there's a lot more that I could be doing in terms of like my YouTube videos and stuff like that, and I'm trying. I am. Like as far as like the closed captionings and stuff like that, I think YouTube has an automatic closed captions setting that you can do on there. So I still haven't quite figured everything out about YouTube itself yet, and how all of that works. But I know some of my videos are a bit longer. Like the video that went up just before this one is almost an hour long. It's part 1 of Crocheting My Wedding Favors. And to sit there and have to manually type out all of my captions is very time consuming. Not that I don't want to do it, it's just I need to find an easier way of being able to get those captions, or, you know, use the closed captioning system that YouTube already has and make sure that it is correct. Because to take the time to be able to sit down and type all of those, like I said, is very time consuming. Because I did my first one where I manually typed out all of the captions to go along with the video, and it took me several hours to do that, and it wasn't a long video. So part of me was like, oh man, that's gonna be a lot of work. But I gotta find a way that I can do that it won't be nearly as time consuming, because then otherwise I'm just gonna be spending all of my time just doing that and not actually crocheting, and it'll take away from the content that I'm making. But like I said, accessibility is something that it's important to me, so I want to make sure that I'm doing what I can to be able to provide that. Excuse me, just a second, I'm gonna take a drink. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Part of some of these projects that I've got going on. Oh, I remember the other thing I was gonna mention. As far as the patterns and making them accessible for even like left-handed people to be able to follow along with my video and still get, you know, what it is that they're looking for. There is another YouTuber that I follow through my personal account, that she has been working on a Pokemon crochet blanket. It is Skein Spider. She's an Australian YouTuber. I love her content. She is absolutely wonderful. The way that she does her graph patterns for this Pokemon blanket is that she's taking like the image of the graph and putting it up on screen, and then highlighting a specific row, and then telling you the stitches or the stitch count for like color change and stuff like that for that specific row. So my thought is I could do that for my patterns, and then I could take the image, flip it so it's mirrored, and then have a second video that goes up at the same time for those who want to see it left-handed. So that was another thought that I had. I've seen a lot of people that, especially some of the bigger crocheters like the Crochet Crowd, or I think it's Nazia, or Nazi or something like that. It's kind of a funky name. I have a hard time pronouncing it. That they do left-handed crochet videos, and it's like, how in the world are they doing that? There's no way that there's these big YouTubers are ambidextrous and that they're able to pump out content like this. So I did a little bit of research, and I found that I can just mirror the video, and we're not exactly technologically advanced over here. I'm trying my best. But that thought never even occurred to me until I did some research recently. I was like, that is absolutely brilliant. It's like, why did I not think of that? But that's brilliant. So that's kind of what I was thinking for doing like left-handed crochet patterns, is mirroring that image. So if you can hear some funky noises in the background, it is my cat. She is trying to get into the basement. We don't want her down in the basement. That's where my craft room is. That's where we game at. One of our doors to the crawl space underneath the stairs does not actually have a door handle on there. So if she gets down in there, she gets underneath of like the very last step to the basement, and it's just a pain in the ass to get out of there. So yeah, you might be able to hear her. But yeah, the doing the left-handed accessibility patterns would be great. So I've got some ideas for other informational kind of videos and stuff. Some of the just like basics. So if somebody was coming into this and they had absolutely no clue what they were doing, that I can help provide a foundation for beginning your crochet journey. And that's kind of my goal. Like I said, accessibility is a big thing, and I like helping people learn new things. So I've got a bunch of videos kind of like that. Like I said, more informational, less actually doing, if that makes sense. It makes sense in my head. I hope it makes sense to you. If it doesn't, let me know. But the way that things are going right now, I just got a lot of filming I need to do. There's a lot to do, but that's okay. We're here for the journey. I've got some challenges and stuff that I want to do. Like it has been a goal of mine since I picked up crochet again to do the 365 days of granny squares that Yarn Utopia did. She was one of the first YouTubers that I started following when I picked up crochet again several years ago. That absolutely phenomenal. I love it. She speaks in a way that's easy to understand for someone who may not have a whole lot of experience. So I absolutely recommend her to anybody who is looking for someone that, you know, is good for beginners. She is fantastic. I absolutely love her. Her journey has been absolutely amazing. If you're not familiar with her, definitely go check her out. She's great. Absolutely great. But I had started it once before, and I don't know what happened to those squares that I did, but I figure it would be a great stash buster kind of project, because Lord knows I have a lot of yarn. So I'm hoping to try and work down my stash just a little bit. Oh, did I lose track? Missed a stitch. So I've got a lot of like stash bustery kind of ideas to try and work down my stash just a little bit, because, you know, I need to make room for new pretty yarn. So that's kind of what I've been thinking about and doing, you know, research for. You know, I'm always open to new ideas. If you've got any suggestions, if there's anything you want to see, any kind of challenges you want me to do, I'm always up for trying something new. So, one of the other things, one of the challenges that I had in mind was that out of all of the different types of crochet that I've done some research about, I want to try them all. I don't know how well that's gonna work out, but oh, excuse me. I would like to, you know, experience them, kind of get an idea for them, you know, help bring a little bit more awareness to some of these projects. Like I said, there was a couple of them that I had never heard of, and they sounded incredibly fascinating, and I want to try them so bad. It's like we're hyper fixated on that at the moment. It's just, I want to try these new things. And that's, so I'm thinking about doing little videos like that where I give some of these different types of methods a try, just to kind of see how it is, kind of give my opinion and what I think of it. So yeah, that's just kind of where my brain has been at lately. Sorry, I'm just trying to count and keep an idea of where I'm at and talk at the same time. So I would say, looking at some of my notes, I'm not sure what kind of release schedule that I'm gonna have for when I do like the tarot card graphs, because I was thinking, okay, well, I could do every other week, you know, maintain with that schedule, but then that's all I'm uploading, and that would take a really long time, and I feel like it would get pretty boring after a while if that's all that I had. And I want to make content that's a little more entertaining, to say the least. So what I've been toying with the idea of is that when I finally get these patterns done, that those will be released on the weeks that I'm not doing like another form of content. So eventually moving over to weekly videos. So I'm not going to promise anything now, because we're still in the very early beginning stages of this, and, you know, seeing how this is going to work. But that was kind of my thought. It would still take quite a while to get all the patterns up. So then my other thought was, okay, well, I could release, because there's 72 cards in the tarot deck. That would still take a really long time to get all of those out. It's going to take well over a year even if I did release one pattern every week. But my other thought is that I could release the tarot card pattern, release one every week, and then on every other week, maintaining the current schedule that I've got, have 2 videos that go up. So that way, then not only am I releasing that crochet pattern, but then I'm also doing the more entertaining side of it as well. It's just a random thought that I had the other day. But let me know what you think down below. What do you think of doing something kind of like that? It was just kind of a... What kind of noise was that? My cat's over here making funky noises. Oh, she spotted something out in the yard, just going nuts. Tripped over the radiator. So yeah, that's just kind of what my thoughts are right now. So what we got so far on this coaster, we are 1, 2, 3, or 4 rounds in so far. And if I go to my project journal here where I had my notes written down, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows, and then the finishing kind of border row. So we're just gonna keep on trucking along. I've got some other ideas for some crochet videos and patterns. I'm a video gamer, so sometimes I hyperfixate on, like, I've had a lot of ideas for doing like Stardew Valley has been one of my big games lately. So, Stardew Valley blanket, it's upside down. I just got this for my birthday. It is a great blanket. And now it just makes me want to play some Stardew Valley. But forever and a day ago now that I'm thinking about timeline, holy crap. I had bought the books from Allison Hoffman for like the customizable people. Her patterns are phenomenal. I love her patterns. They always look absolutely amazing by whoever ends up doing them. They always look really good. But I wanted to make dolls of the characters from Stardew Valley, and I actually had in my project journal way back at the beginning notes that I had made for what parts of patterns that I needed to use out of her book. You can see some of my notes. What patterns that I could put together to create the characters from Stardew Valley and just have like all little cuties up there. I think that would be a really fun project to do. I bought a whole bunch of her skin tone yarn that she had. It went on clearance because she said that she couldn't maintain doing the yarn thing and the patterns and everything else that she's doing, because she is a full-time crochet artist, if I remember correctly. And she had released a skin tone line, and it was not too long after that it seemed like those got really popular with the big box stores. She has like a whole like blog post about it on her website. I think it was her website, or it was the email mailing list that I saw it on, or maybe it was Facebook. I don't remember. It was a little bit ago. But I had just ordered some for another project that I was doing, and when I saw that, I was like, holy crap, I want to go buy those so I have them, so that way I can do the Stardew Valley crochet project that I planned like 2 years ago now. We are not speedy when it comes to crochet. We are just not a fast crocheter. That is just not who I am. I have a very tight tension. I know that I do. But I'm also slow when it comes to crocheting. And that's fine. You know, you don't always have to be, you know, super fast Jonas Hands over here, you know, being like literally the fastest crocheter on face of planet Earth. It's more about the journey and the things that you learn along the way and the fun that you have and the memories that you make. So, and then this is one of those things that I like to do in my free time. I've been doing a lot of it lately, and it's one of those hobbies that I can take with me to work, so I can work on it in my car when I go to lunch. Although it's starting to get pretty cold here. As I'm filming this today, it is November 10th. Where is the year gone? So yeah, we're getting pretty cold. So anymore, most days I'm not going out to my car for lunch just because it is too cold. So I'll sit at my desk, and I can crochet there at my desk. But then it's kind of like one of those where you're sitting there at lunch reading a book, and everybody and their brother has to come up and ask you, "Oh, what are you reading? What's it about?" And then you spend your entire break talking about the book instead of reading the book. It's one of those. So, but yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, I can take it with me in the car. It's just, it's been fantastic. And like I said, I picked this back up a few years ago. It was the summer. It's like the spring of the summer, the year before COVID. Because my first project coming back into crocheting, I decided that I was going to do the Mandala Madness project. And if you haven't seen that pattern, you need to go check it out. It is huge. There's a lot of stitches in there, and I very much overestimated my capabilities. Because I figured it's like, oh yeah, I know how to crochet. My grandma taught me when I was little. How hard can this be? You know, this is a pretty blanket. I can do this. That blanket took me like 8 months to do. But to be fair, when I was working on that blanket, I think it took me a little bit more than 8 months. But it took me a really long time. I remember it took me, because I had started in, like I said, like the spring or the summer before COVID. And it wasn't until like the following spring, because it was still pretty cold out when I gave it to my coworker. Yes, I made a giant ass blanket for my coworker. I made it for her for free. Love that woman. She is an absolute treasure. But while I was doing that, I was following along with the YouTube videos that she had for the pattern. I was learning a ton of new stitches, things I had never heard of before. And I'm like, there's so much more to crochet than I thought there was. But I also, from that, following along in the YouTube video, I also was following along her written pattern that she had posted. And I taught myself how to read a crochet pattern using that method. So if you don't know how to read a crochet pattern, I would definitely recommend finding somebody who has not only a written pattern, but a video for that pattern as well, and following along. Because you can learn so much information by just taking it a row at a time, watching the video to see how the stitch is done, and then using that as well to have them explain in a longer way what like all the abbreviations mean, or what everything means or stands for, so that way you can be able to translate it. It makes sense. I'm a very visual learner, so YouTube videos were huge for me when I got back into crochet. Because when I learned, my grandma taught me, she taught me just like the absolute very basics. It was like how to chain, how to do single crochet, and how to do a double crochet. That was all I knew how to do. So I learned a lot very quickly. And it was a fun project. I kind of want to make another one, but I want to do it in almost like sewing thread or like a crochet thread. I want to make it super small, because lugging that project around to work on it was an absolute nightmare. That blanket was so big. I think it was like 6.5, 7 feet across by the time that I finished it. It was ginormous, and I didn't even square it off. I just left it as a round blanket. If you want a challenge, that is a challenge. Go do that pattern. But yeah, I kind of want to do it, but like in a micro crochet pattern, because mind blowing, how cool would that be? Because then I could take it and turn it into a wall hanging. That would be crazy. That would be so cool. The ideas that are coming to me. It's like, I want to take all of these really intricate big blanket patterns and do them in micro crochet to make little wall decorations. Like, I think that would be absolutely great. We're obsessing over wall decorations, and I don't know why, but that's just where we're at right now in life, is wall decorations. You think about the 72 patterns that I'm working on. For the tarot cards, I've got another one that I wanted to do kind of as a, hey, we're releasing these patterns now, go check it out. Just a basic graph that I also wanted to use as a way to teach people how to read graph patterns and how to crochet from them. And just a stupid, kind of goofy little thing. But I just like the idea of being able to take crochet and just literally decorate everything with it. I also have some crochet thread left over from a table runner that I did. I did a pineapple stitch, granny square-esque kind of pattern, I found like a diagram online of this like pineapple stitch kind of square. They were real small. But I made a really long table runner out of that to give to another coworker of mine. That one she did pay me for. And that one turned out really good. But I have a bunch of that left over because I way overbought. Because I didn't know how much I was gonna need. But now we know how to figure out how much we need. Go check out those videos. You know, figure out your stitch count, your row count, and how to figure out how much yarn you need for a project. I did that. But I've got a bunch of that crochet thread left, and it's this really pretty like blue and gold color. Like it's a almost a tie-dye-y kind of pattern. It's not like an ombre yarn. I wouldn't quite say that it's variegated. Like I'm not quite sure how I would describe it. But I was thinking about using that to make some tiny little decorative curtains for my craft room. Say it's down in the basement, so I really don't need curtains because there's actually a bush in front of the window that's there in my, or in front of the window that my craft room has. Words are getting hard. But I think it would just be nice, you know, to decorate with some crochet because then it's custom. I made it. Nobody else has got one like that. And I like having unique one-offs. Collector Goblin over here. Okay, we are finishing this row here. All right, we are 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, excuse me. 5 rows in. Yeah, I got a little bit of a glare. Oh, I don't think I talked about what yarn I was using. So, show you the front side. This is what we've kind of got. I'll probably end up having to block this when I'm done with it, just because it's kind of like bowing a little bit. At least it's not floppy, wavy, wiggly, whatever the hell the other one was doing. And I think that was because of the way the starting rounds were. It just didn't seem right when I started it, and I probably should have known better. But yeah, this is coming out a lot more flat, but I probably will still need to block it. But what I'm using is loops and threads. I bought this at Michael's when I went out birthday shopping. We went out shopping for my birthday, and we hit all of the craft stores. Normally I don't shop for yarn at Michael's. The Michael's up by where I'm, or at least I should say not anymore, because the Michael's up by where I'm at now since I've moved, I feel like their yarn selection kind of sucks. I just feel like it's really small. I think I mentioned this in a previous video. I just feel like there's never a really good selection of yarn anytime I go in there, so I really don't go shopping there for yarn anymore. More like odds and ends and weird stuff that I can't find at oh, she's found her fish, that I can't find at other craft stores or that I know is there. So it's just kind of a when every once in a while when I'm over on that part of town. Normally I buy my cotton yarn at Hobby Lobby. As much as I don't like Hobby Lobby, I like their cotton yarn. Their cotton yarn is some of the best that I have found. I love this cotton yarn. It's soft, it works up great. You know, I get it. Hobby Lobby sucks, but I like their cotton yarn. You know, hate me if you will. But I will continue to shop at Hobby Lobby for the cotton yarn. But not this one. But yeah, we went to Hobby Lobby, we went to Michael's, we went to Joann's. Got to run into some people while they're at Joann's. Oh, now that I'm thinking about it, they might want me to come in and work on Black Friday. I don't think I want to do that. I mean, I probably should. It's been a hot minute since I've worked a shift, but we're not stressing it. We're not stressing it at all. Oh man. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna continue just working through this this pattern. We'll kind of see where it gets and where it kind of comes out to. So hopefully this will come out good. I'm hoping. I really want to be able to make this and make it look good for my friend. So, but yeah, that's just kind of, you know, my thought process. I appreciate you, you know, sticking around, listening to me ramble aimlessly. Is yeah, brain dump every once in a while is kind of nice. So if you like this video, you want to see more, let me know down below. You know, hit that little like button, subscribe, hit the bell, ding dong it, do the things. What are you working on for your crochet projects? You know, do you have any good big plans? Are you working on, you know, working down your stash for the new year that's coming up? Let me know what it looks like for you in this part of your crochet journey. And I'll see you in the next video.